All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Now, we usually don't wear our masks in the house, but since we've designed these, I think it's fair to wear them in the house.
Don't you want your headphones?
No, I like screaming into the mic. We'll have to take the mask off, so it'll be...
I have put them on. Now I want to get the real feeling of what it would be like to podcast with you with our masks on.
It's weird because people can't lip read.
That's true.
So it's going to be much more strange. It might be a little muddled, but it actually isn't. I'm taking it off now. But in all seriousness, we saw that the company that we're partnered with, Teespring, started offering cloth masks, and we've ordered how many different kinds of masks over the past 4 months?
Oh my gosh,
so many different materials and each of them are different brands. Some of them, that one that I wore into UPS, I was gonna die.
Oh,
whatever one that is way too. I can see why people say you can't breathe. And we wanted to test these out, so we ordered samples of all of our designs, and we did 9 designs. And 7 out of the 9 came back perfect. There was 2 design errors on the other that I messed up on.
I'll take the 7 out of 10 though.
But 7 out of 9. The other one we just designed too.
Or 7.
So now we have 7 out of 9.
What's happening?
And but we're really happy with the material. So if you're looking for like a funky, fun mask, we have a bunch. Females, it looks like we looked out for you more than the gentlemen. But
did.
I've been working tirelessly coming up with some more masculine masks. But we've got the different pop art. This one's black, and they're really soft. They're breathable, which is great. Another fun pop art one. And then these are our 3 best sellers so far.
Yes, got our leopard. My whole thing, too, is I just really wanted cute masks to wear going out.
Well, now that it seems like it's going to be... Because at first, if it was only a month or 2... But now it kind of seems masks are going to be part of our life for a while, so we might as well have it match our outfits or at least feel good.
Well, and anytime I would leave the house, you kind of feel a little blah when you have just a surgical mask on, because whatever you decide to wear, especially if maybe you are into fashion, you pick it based on your mood and your personality and what you kind of want to exude in the world. And if I'm feeling sassy, I've got like my fun little pop art one. And then if I'm like, hey, let me feel a little more elegant, to a leopard. You know what I'm saying? So every time I leave the house with that dang surgical mask, I'm just like, my whole outfit's ruined.
And now you got a bunch of options.
Now we got a bunch.
And then this is my favorite one because we always like
so good.
to support
Pride Baby.
Yeah, I love it, and it's a funky design too. We looked at like having just rainbow, but then that's a little tacky. That's more if you want to really go out and wear like, look, I'm wearing a rainbow. This is more like subtle, and that it's like love and pride.
And we also wanted just to have an aesthetic for everything too,
So it all looks the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can go. We have the description box. What do you call it? Description box?
Yeah.
Below in the description box, in the description
we have
section.
the link in
We've
the
got the link,
below.
so you can go and stock our masks. And we're going to be coming out with more of them, but we wanted to start slow just so that we could see how the designs are and the quality. But now that we've got the green light that the quality is insane, it's awesome.
Yes.
And now
Gentlemen,
we're like
we promise we have some more designs coming soon. You can still totally rock these.
And if you're listening, you can go to teespring.com/stores/Freddie-Alyssa. And we have all of our merch there, including our T-shirts and everything. But we have a bunch to get to today. The day's recap is going to be very light, so I'm glad we asked questions because I was basically in 7 minutes for the whole week. But I do want to talk about working with Deidre Hall because she is phenomenal, and she also I'll save that for just a second here. But let's do our opening. Welcome everyone to the Freddie and Alyssa Show. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like, comment, all that fun YouTube stuff. We've been putting out videos for a couple years now, from vlogs to one-off videos, and just tons of interviews at this point. I think this is like episode 115, and we're just absolutely having a blast, and we appreciate your support. And that subscribe from you goes such a long way. So if you could take that half a second, it would mean the world to us. If we continue to build, we want to keep putting out free content for you. So that would mean the world. So thank you for that. And we're also bookable on Cameo. I've been doing a bunch of cameos, did one earlier, and then the leaf blower came by, so I had to pause. And then the washer was going, so I had to pause. And I did my one today. But it seems like people are hopping on the Cameo train. If you'd like a video from Alyssa and myself, we're bookable on Cameo. So you can go to cameo.com/FMSmith319. You can ask me to sing if you want to ruin someone's birthday, or you can have me say happy birthday, or whatever you want to do. And then lastly, I want to give a shout out to Rolando. Rolando Vera became a producer of the Freddie and Alyssa Show. We've opened up our show now to contributions and a producer section where you get access to a community page where we've got about 20 private posts. Because if someone's going to give $10 a month of their hard-earned cash money, we're going to provide them with some extra stuff. And we even have a new show that we launched for the community page for the members, which is before the show. Because we usually have the cameras rolling 2-3 minutes before, and we found that it's just hilarious. And a lot of it's kind of technical, so you can see what we do beforehand. And so we're going to continue to update that page, and we put a lot of cool videos in there. And so you can just go to our YouTube channel, click the community tab, and but if you want to join as the producer to get access to that, the link is in the description as well. But without further ado, I want to hop into the Days of Our Lives recap.
Yes.
Which will be 2 minutes.
Big week for Fred
Big
Smith.
Big week. One of the questions I did get, because there's really not much to talk about, but I found this would be a perfect time to talk about Deidre Hall, because she is, you can't mention Days of Our Lives without Deidre Hall. And someone asked...
She's Days of Our Lives royalty, pretty much.
She has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Crazy.
And she is just the kindest person in the world.
She really is so sweet.
Oh, she's amazing. And she's another person who's just extremely nice. Mm-hmm. Every time I see her, it's how are you? And she's and I love this. She is so proper about her manners and being polite and respectful. And I really like that, because I don't know if it was like growing up in my family or just the times or what it was, but it was hold the door open, yes, please, be respectful. And she's all about that and your proper etiquette. I think she has a book coming out about proper etiquette too, because she's very. And I remember when I first started on the show, I'll share this funny story before I get into a nice heartfelt story. She actually has, I can never say you guys without thinking of Deidre Hall, because when I first started the show, anytime the script would say like, hey guys, what's up? And she was in a scene and it was with Chandler, her, or somebody else, she would always say, I'm not a guy.
Huh.
And then a few times I forgot because I was a young kid with my head up my butt. So I would just do the next scene like 2 months later and I was like, hey, what's going on, guys? She goes, I'm not a guy.
You probably bothered her so much with that because you were in Freddie's world back then.
Oh yeah.
No, you're very aware.
But now I don't do it as much, so I'm always thinking about it where I go, I get it.
I do say, hey guys.
Hey guys.
I say that a lot actually.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm curious what you all think.
Different times though,
Yeah. So but I always think of that now. So anytime I'm talking, I will say girls and guys, and I feel like it's something that I'll always take with me, because you never know how people feel about it. But she was always just like, I'm not a guy, stay, and I think they kept it in one of the early episodes. For the real diehard Days fans, if you remember, there was a scene that she improv that, and I reacted to it, and I think they aired it.
Really?
Yeah. It was in the Brady pub.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I've always been just around her, just very, you just kind of like sit up straight with her, She's very much...
I love she commands that though.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Well, we need more of that.
What a great role
model. So she taught me a lot about just manners and being a man on set. And if the acting coach comes in, you stand up and give her your seat and all that. Wow. And I respect that. So I grew up on that set in my 20s, and I was always polite.
Of course.
But she always was in the back of I was going, yep, absolutely. Do you need a chair? How's this? You really, really helped. So she taught that respect.
Love that. Respect, manners, etiquette, so important.
Yeah.
And you don't see it all the time, unfortunately, now.
No. So she had that. And then I because it was a private message, I don't feel right sharing what she said. But I got an email from Deidre when I left the show. Aww. And she wrote me the kindest message. Like the kindest message. And she didn't have to do that. And she emailed me. I mean, it was like this long. And she just wrote me just how, like, what it was like working with me, and just that, on the, just like I've grown up and what a great man I am and actor. I think it was, I should have read it again before I talked about it, but I just remember reading it, and during a time when I was just done with the show after 9 years, and it was kind of like a kind of kooky ending. And for someone at her stature to write me and tell me how she's excited for my future and just like took the time to write me an email just meant the world to me.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah. So
Really, really
that
nice.
just shows the kind of person Deidre is. And we had a couple scenes with her today. Me and Chandler and Deidre work together. And so she's great to work with. I mean, it's just like everybody else.
Does she play Sammy's mom?
Yeah.
So Will's grandma.
Yeah.
Wow. So you have worked with her quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
Oh, yeah. More in group scenes, I feel. But then we've had a few scenes together. I've worked with Drake and... but yeah, I mean, it's just always...
You got to think, though, too, she watched you, because you got on the show, what, at 22? 23?
23, yeah.
She watched you grow, because going from 23 to 32, it's a really big bulk of your life when you're going to change, you're growing up. And probably the whole cast, they watched you come on as this young kid. You're still probably a young kid to them, but you've grown, you're mature, you're an adult.
Yeah.
So that's probably really interesting to watch as well.
Yeah, because you can definitely tell with the younger cast, because I've noticed, and I go, oh wait, I was them, where you can feel the energy of just young, just really taking it all in, and you can see the adults are we're not just here because we love it. It's like we've got kids at home, we've got
bills to pay.
You can feel everyone's still in a good mood, but there's something about the energy that the younger 18 to 23-year-olds are just bouncing on their toes, and they're sitting there and they're having a great time. I'm like, you have this huge monologue, they do a great job, but for me, I used to do the same thing. I'd have my work, but there wasn't enough weight. I just felt like I was
just a different mindset.
Yeah, it was all like a selfish thing where I was like, I'm gonna do my work and be a good actor, and I'm gonna have fun and what's up. And that was back when I started the show. I used to smoke, and I remember I used to go out on the 10-minute break and have a cigarette. And a couple other castmates smoked at the time, and we were just like, yeah, let's grab coffee.
Was the thing
and we're
to
like,
do.
all right. So yeah, Will, blah blah, and now, but then it turned into, hey, what's going on? How are you? Everyone's nice, we're respectable. Let's get this work done. Let's do it well. Let's be professional. Let's tell the story. And a lot more became at stake, which I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but I definitely feel the pressure changed as I got older. I think because my life became, you're just. Right? Like you have more at stake, or what is it?
When you're young, you're carefree. You're just you really live in the moment when you're young. Even when we shot Addicts Anonymous, I remember, because we were all, 23?
Yeah.
And I just remember the set was just crazy fun. Everyone's just having the best time ever. Not that people don't have the greatest time ever when they're shooting, because they do. But it was just a different energy that was brought to the scene, because we were just these young kids. Everything was so fun. Anyone who was at that set knew it was a ball. But I think that young energy really helped to influence that. I don't know, things are just different when you're younger. You'll
hear I heard someone specifically in a chair, one of the younger actors, a couple years ago, and they were just like, they're like, yeah, I just had the great, I was talking to my friend, I didn't get home till 3 a.m, but we had the greatest conversation, and that was their energy. And I'm like, it's 7. What do you mean you got home at 3? And then if you talk to somebody who has a kid, they're like, I didn't get to bed till 3 a.m. And it's just so interesting to see the change. Wow. And I think that's just youth in general. But yeah, so that was just, growing up and having her around, it was a great experience. And I just wish Deidre the absolute best, because what a sweetheart for her to.
She's just always been really great to you. That makes my heart happy whenever I hear, people are really good to you. Love that.
Yeah, so that's really good. I do want to pull out
some questionroonies.
Yeah, here I gotta get my phone. Yeah.
All right.
So, I wrote all these down, and we took questions from the audience as well. So, I'm gonna do one more days one, and then we'll hop into the ones with both of us.
Yeah, of course. Yet again, you're doing the questions.
Well, yeah.
So
I just wrote them down at this
Tell
point.
me about me.
Well, I write them down and I forget.
I know.
So here was the one scene that I got that didn't involve today's episode, but is a really, really great question. Is how hard is it to act in a scene alone, reading an emotional letter, or talking out loud to yourself? I was like, what a great question. So before I get into that, my phone's been dead all day?
Dead?
Because I unplugged the charger from the wall last night to plug in the fan, and I've been plugging my phone in all day, looking at it going, why is it still red?
Wait, you had your charger where the fan's at?
No, by my nightstand.
Yeah. Oh, you put a fan
I unplugged
over.
it to put the fan there, and now I've been plugging it into but it's not in the outlet. So I have no battery.
What a nerd.
13%. It'll be enough to rock out the questions.
Honey.
But yeah, acting by yourself, depending on what it is, if you're doing, for instance, when you do a phone call, there's certain times that there'll be actual dialogue, and you'll be able to see this on the show, where if I'm talking to Will and he's at the Brady Pub and I'm in the Kiriakis Mansion, you'll see that I'm on the phone, then it cuts to him, then cuts to me, then cuts to him. So that'll be written in the script, but it's shot at different times. So that one is actually kind of awkward because you're not really having a real conversation. It's usually just the stage manager offset reading the lines, and you have to take long beats in between so they can edit correctly, because if you talk too fast, they can't edit. And then if the actor happens to be there, like if Chandler just happens to be there, he'll read opposite and give me a little. But you're essentially being like, hey, where are you? Well, have you heard from Uncle Vic? That's a little awkward, but we get through it. When you have a phone call where I go, hey, Uncle Vic, I just want to let you know that I'm here with Will. He just got home from work early, so I'll come pick you up whenever you are ready to go. Hope you're doing well. When it's just a one-off phone call, that's easy because we're used to leaving voicemails as a human. So we talk all the time to ourselves. When it comes to reading a letter, I love it. I'll make sure to read the letter many times because reading out loud is one of my biggest fears. But you don't have to memorize it. So you're able just to read off of it. So it's fantastic. And then if they ever have the letter being read, they'll just put it over the loudspeaker. So there's certain times that I'll be reading a letter and you can actually hear Will, like, my dearest Sonny. So he's reading it over the loudspeaker. They've recorded it in like voiceover. So you're able to react to the letter, but you hear the voice over so you're able to react in real time. So I'm not reading it at his pace. So I kind of just stare at the letter. I don't read it. And I'll just listen so I can be affected by his words.
But do you pretend that you're reading it?
Yeah, I'll just go like this, and then I'll just look back and forth, and then he'll say something. I go, oh.
So you really can hear it the first time when you're shooting.
Yeah.
That's cute. I like that.
So that's good. And then the toughest thing is when you're, like, if you're talking to yourself, where I'm like in the mansion, I'm like, where is the safe? Where is the safe? You really got to commit to that, because we do that at home. I'm like, where did I put that pen?
I do talk to myself a lot as I'm getting older. I'm always like, where did I put that? What did I?
That is fine when you're asking, where's the safe?
Where's the safe?
Where's the safe?
I don't think we do that.
But what's really awkward is when you just say, what the hell were you thinking, Xander? Those are tough. Because when did you ever say that out loud?
What the hell were you doing?
Yeah, I've never been sitting in the kitchen going, Alyssa, why would you put the pasta in this drawer? I would think it. So there are certain times you speak out loud.
I demand you to start saying those types of things in this house. I want to hear you say that next time.
Where did you put the pasta?
Alyssa?
Did you order the shredded cheese?
I want every delivery like that from here on out.
Yeah. So that, I hope that, that answers your question. And then let's hop into a couple others here. So, what is your favorite Disney characters? We'll start with that one. What's your favorite Disney characters?
I mean, just in general. Oh, I love Alice from Alice in Wonderland. I love how curious she is. She's always been my favorite, and that's probably my top Disney film. Dare I say that?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Disney character?
I don't really know who all of them are. So I'll leave that one to you. What's your favorite Hamilton songs after watching it?
Definitely Helpless. I listen to that song nonstop on repeat. I mean, the entire album is insane, but that is the one. And Chris, I don't know if you're listening. He and I listen to that nonstop. He sent me the screenshot. He's like, I'm at it again. It's one of those songs you just over and over and over. You can't stop listening. And then it's stuck in your head all day. I'll play it for you. It's really good.
Okay. I love that. And then favorite music. She asked about rock music, but I don't like rock. But our favorite music, what would you say your favorite music is?
Definitely have a very eclectic taste. Everything from rap, I do like rock as well, pop.
We don't listen to rock often, though.
But
I like it, but I
guess when
never
you
put
say
on a rock
I'm
station.
thinking more like punk rock mixed with a little classic rock. Like I loved punk rock growing up. I always went to Warped Tours. Like that was my jam. Did you liked some punk
Yeah.
rock?
My sophomore, junior year in high school was Good Charlotte and
Good Charlotte
Yellow
was a jam.
Card and what was the Simple Plan?
Yeah. It's like pop.
The
rocky.
Used.
The Used I love.
Nirvana.
I love what Machine Gun Kelly is doing now with his music. He's bringing back that pop punk rock mixed with
so
rap.
good.
And that's like my jam. Like I love that. His new one, I think, Bloody Valentine, he's with Megan Fox in it and now they're dating. But what's really interesting is the entire vibe of that music video was back when she first kind of came on the scene, like that same kind of music. And so to have an ode of Megan Fox, who is like the hottest and still is, she's like banging still, to have her in your music video when you're having music of that time, like it sounds just like it. You're like, wait, where am I? What time is it? What year is it? And I think that was really smart and cool.
Yeah, what's the one that he first released? It was about a year ago.
Oh, with
Youngblood.
I think I'm okay.
I'm Okay, Machine Gun Kelly is
think
a
I'm
really
okay.
good
Oh,
song.
so
It sounds
good.
like it was in like the early 2000s.
Same with Bloody Valentine.
But yeah, I liked all that. Well, it was interesting because
Let's talk therapy.
yes, BetterHelp, HELP, BetterHelp.com is a solution for you to be able to talk to a licensed therapist at home. As soon as I heard at home through audio, video, I was in. There's crazy times right now, and I know even with Alyssa and I, we went through a really hard time in 2014, 15, and 16 where, yes, we're very positive people. We've learned to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps, but there are times when life really gives you a punch in the gut, or maybe you're having some anxiety. You want to be able to talk to somebody. And with BetterHelp.com, it's all online, so you don't have to go out there right now in this crazy world, and we're all quarantined. You don't have to find parking, wait in the waiting room, and go through all of that. And also, too, when you go into an actual therapist's office, many times you have to pay in full, and then your insurance will reimburse some of that. With BetterHelp.com, it's all done online. It's affordable. They match you up with a licensed therapist within, I believe, 24 hours.
Yeah.
And it's worldwide. So no matter where you're hearing this, you can go and talk to someone if you're not feeling, like that pep in your step, and you really want to be able to talk to somebody. And
Get your sparkle back, and we have 10% off for y'all.
Yes, 10%. So it's betterhelp.com/FA,
Yep.
and you receive 10% off. So if you want to give it a try, head over to betterhelp.com/FA. Now back to the show. Because hip hop and rap was when you put on 2000 to 2005,
Yeah.
it's more of a
It's just chill, relax.
it's more like not R&B. I can't describe it. But yeah, like now and then rap got into like kind of hard.
Yeah.
Like it was hard between like 2006 and 12 and even further than that. But then the past couple years it's now turned into just short beats, like dope beats, like TikTok. Like every song on TikTok blows up on and then it's on the radio.
Oh my gosh. I saw these girls, they had a song called F2020, but it's actually really, really catchy. And
F2020.
Yep. And on TikTok, it just blew up. And they did the sweetest TikTok video the other day. The girls were in the car because they're undiscovered before this. They're just making music
Yeah.
during quarantine. And they heard it playing for the first time on the radio and they were all crying. And I loved it because they were just so raw and real. They weren't all done up. It was just who they are, natural. And I love that kind of stuff.
And they made it themselves.
Yeah.
They didn't have a label or record deal or anything?
I don't believe so. I don't know.
I love it. I had a question today from a college student who's writing a paper about becoming an actor, and the same thing applies to music. Believe me, ladies and gentlemen, I've been out here for 15 years. It is the most insane business. And if people really knew what it really is, like how hard it really is, my naivete and what the industry would call green is what allowed me to just be that young kid in the chair when I was 18 to 20. It's just extremely hard. So just know that it is extremely hard. But everything, if you want to be an actor or you want to be an influencer or you want to be a doctor or you want to be one of these 1%er jobs,
Everything worth it in life is
you
hard.
have to work for it. But The most frustrating part is that there's so many talented actors and singers in the world that if they put out their own content, the market and the audience will decide.
Of course.
We've been building a podcast here based on just starting a YouTube channel. We didn't have to go pitch a network or a distribution company to say, believe in us. Right. I promise we can have good conversation. People will listen. I promise. Yeah, but you're too tall, or we need a couple that's, blah, 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 or whatever it is. We just start.
We have the power now to do it.
Just do it.
Anyone can do it from their house.
Billie Eilish. How many Grammys does she have?
So
817?
Yeah.
Does her music with her brother in her childhood home still.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a dream. And I got everything I wanted. I think she did that in her actual bedroom.
And it's just the best music ever.
So for all you artists out there, don't get caught up in the I have to be in LA, I have to be in New York, I need a power agent. Because yes, but you need that is like step 9 today.
Yeah.
It was the only step back in the day.
Yeah.
You have to leave your family, you have to come out here. It is unbelievably expensive. Never even knew about taxes until I got older and started making money, where I'm like, oh wait, you can pay up to 13% additional state tax here. So if you live in Florida and there's no state tax and you make 80 grand building a YouTube channel or building your own videos, you're also saving so much money on taxes, and you can just like fly in and out. But being here, I would 100% come with a book of work in your hometown with your buddies, at your college, at your theater, no matter where you are. Get a bunch of people together and start shooting short films. Look what Kevin James is doing. Kevin James, A-list movie star, 2 hit television shows, is now doing a YouTube channel where he puts out hilarious short films. Now, we can't, his budget for his short films are probably 30 grand each thing. But if you have a friend with a camera, a friend with an audio, a couple lights, put out a short film that's 3 minutes every single week. Have people come to you.
Yeah. Didn't Post Malone put up all of his music? I think it was on Spotify, and that's just one of them blew up.
Yeah, it was...
what was that song? His big one.
Yeah, not Congratulations. I ain't rich, but I'm not broke.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
I know. I have to look
it up. What's his famous first song? But yeah, that's my whole point is that I don't want to tell people what to do, but as you can probably see with the tone in my voice, I am so passionate. White Iverson. Yeah. Please build.
How does that go?
White Iverson. Please build a social media.
Just start. Do what you can in your house. You don't even need friends to help you out. If you are acting and right now you just can't see anyone because of the nature of what's happening in the world, start doing some monologues. Put something out there. Start doing TikToks. Do your favorite monologues on TikTok. They even, there's so many different things.
Do 3 TikToks a day.
Yeah, or do a YouTube.
Instagram, and then post it to everything. Start a podcast, talk about it. Just every single thing to put yourself out there, because I even got kind of lucky in the fact that I did not work as hard back in the day when things were just working for me. I wasn't working that hard. Where now I'm working 16 hours a day on everything we're doing, and I understand how hard it is, and you have to do that as an actor unless you want to get a little lucky. And when I mean lucky, I mean I was out here in 2006, 2007, 2008, where if you had a carbon copy of people they wanted on TV, it looked like me.
Yeah.
From 2006 to 2009, every role wanted my demographic. Exactly my age, my look. I auditioned 3 to 4 times a week. I went on 500 auditions for huge movies and television shows the first 4 years. My friends now, because I stopped auditioning for the past 7 years, but my friends who are still auditioning, they're auditioning once every 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. And they have been for the past 5 years. So I was lucky to come out here in a time where my look was perfect, but then I didn't have any talent. So those auditions, but I was still green.
Yeah.
But then I was able to book, but I wasn't in acting class 5 days a week when I should have been. I went to acting class 12 times in my whole career out here. I did a lot in Cleveland when I was a kid, but I was just kind of this young kid who just was like, charismatic with a
isn't
smile.
Energy
And
funny though? You
just-
didn't care,
yeah.
and it happened. But I remember Joey Fatone from NSYNC had said this like probably 20 plus years ago, and it always stuck with me. And he was saying, I think in our scenario and situation, we were really hard workers. We had talent, but we had luck on our side. And he's like, that's why we are where we're at today. Not taking away that they are super talented. They worked and busted their butts, but they were in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people, and all just gelled and worked exactly as it should have. So that happens all the time. Even people on TikTok, Charlie D'Amelio. Is that D'Amelio?
Yeah.
She was just kind of like doing her thing. She was doing the work, putting the work in, as you should, as NSYNC was doing. And then it was right place, right time. A little bit of luck.
Well, luck favors the prepared mind.
Yes.
And how it so happened with us is that we got into business and we got into personal development and we got into responsibility, hard work, resilience, understanding the human condition, bettering ourselves, so that when we got this wave of money, career, we didn't squander it. Because I also saw a lot of people who got lucky like I did during that time.
Yeah,
but then they're
have
broke
nothing
living
now.
with 4 roommates now because they didn't continue on, where I looked and go, oh, wow, I was fortunate. Now, I didn't just go out on my 6th audition, that kind of luck.
Right.
I went on 500 and only booked 12. It just so happened Days was one of them, and some big national commercials that paid well. But
And Days was a long-term gig
Yeah.
for you.
so
Almost 10 years.
So that was the thing. So I never want to be a downer about being an actor. I just want people to know coming out, because I could do an hour podcast, and we should one day, just all about everything that we've learned. But I feel like everyone wants advice of like what do I say in an email to a manager, or how do I act when that is so low on the list. It's how do you make enough money and hang out with the right people so you don't lose your mind? How do you not lose yourself? How do you keep yourself with your Midwest or wherever you were born, your family
Stay true to
morals and
yourself,
who you are, and not get caught up in this town? And then how do you manage your money? And that's where we made the huge mistake. Is if you do pop a show and get paid $300,000 in a year, you still live on $30,000.
Yeah.
You invest it. You have to learn, because then we get to be in a position like we are now, where I get to act as a hobby. It took me all these years, but now I get to do what I've always dreamt of, where I don't want the stress of. So someone asked another question too: would you ever do a primetime show or anything else? I would, but now I'm only choosing something when it's the role.
Right.
I'm not just gonna just to be on a show for 4 episodes. I'm not gonna go spend all that time, pay all my commissions out, pay all the I mean, you don't even make that much, and it's like, yeah, it'd be fun, but I'm not gonna take my time away from everything else we're building.
Right.
If I don't like the role, if it's just some average dude. So, but if I didn't build other businesses the past 6.5 years, and that was my only income, I would take anything because we need to pay the bills. So you get trapped, and then your acting becomes less fun.
And then also you take roles that you might not have taken, and it puts your career in a different direction because you need the paycheck. So it's really interesting when you look at every aspect of it.
Yeah. So there's a lot, and that's my biggest advice is you got to be around good people. You have to dedicate your life to it. Live and breathe acting, live and breathe a business, live and breathe your YouTube, whatever you're doing, live and breathe it, and create it yourself these days. Don't wait. It's the worst feeling to sit around and wait for your phone to ring.
Oh my gosh.
Have the phone ring as a bonus.
Yep.
I love everything we're pitching. If the phone rings or the email comes in, it's a bonus.
I'm always like, ooh,
But I'm not like,
every day.
I used to be that. Ask my best friend Mio. Call him up right now. I would sit in that apartment and go, smack the back of my head. I was like, Mio, I got a book. I got a book.
I know you probably did
Like
that
I
too.
slept with my sides under my pillow. Like obsessive. Like I got a book. Like I was hungry.
You're always hungry for like success.
Yeah,
Oh.
absolutely. I'm obsessed. I love progress.
That's good though. That's a great thing.
That's the other thing. You have to be willing to sit in the back of the room. You know, I've seen that's another piece of advice in life where, and that's one of the biggest compliments that I love that people notice. I don't try. It's just how I live. I'm glad that it inspires people.
Yeah.
But they mentioned like you haven't lost yourself. You didn't let it go to your head. It's because we didn't get on our high horse and then decide that I sit in the makeup chair, I walk on the red carpet, and I'm at the top of my game, and I never knock my ego down by doing other things.
Right.
We always do other things where I'm at the top of my game in the soap world, and then I move over to an e-commerce business, or I move over to something else, and you're in the back of the room with a notebook, and you're this little person again, and you're just being pummeled. You're being beaten. Your ego's being beaten out of you because you don't know nothing.
Yeah.
So you might be some big doctor, but if you're going to go into a different field, you're in the back of the class again. So you have to be willing to sit in the back of the class with that notebook and continue to build and build and build. So I never just sat on the top being like, yeah, I made it. So I'm proud of Miami. I'm proud of what I did, but that's old news. Just like my high school accomplishments, it's old news.
Only as good as your last at bat.
You're only as good as your last
baby.
at bat. Like I'm proud of what I've accomplished here, but I can't walk around when I'm 45 and be like, yeah, you probably recognize me. I played Sonny back from 2011 to 2020. Do you know days? Do you know that? No, I want to be known for what I'm doing today.
Yeah,
like
of course.
progress. So
we love progress.
I don't know what that question was, but we got on a tangent.
Oh, yeah.
What topics would you like to cover here on the podcast?
I mean, everything that we do on this podcast, I feel, comes from an entertainment aspect, an inspiration, or education. And I love that we do it all because there's so much going on in the world. And I think it's so imperative to be informed of what's happening, current events. But I also think it's really fun to be able to do the entertainment aspect of just lifestyle and living, and just kind of incorporate it all, just as we would in real life. What we speak about in real life, I like to do on the podcast as well.
And we're still finding our way.
Yeah.
And someone else asked, this kind of can piggyback off that. You know, we mentioned in one of our live videos that we did on the producer page last weekend, we mentioned this show that we're pitching. And part of the show had to do with how we were in that nearly fatal car accident in 2014. It's a reality show. And in 2015, how our business manager stole a ton of our money, and she didn't pay my taxes for 3 years. So I got hit with all these like we were screwed. And that is one of the topics I want to talk about that. But I also don't want to sit down and go, okay, so today we're going to talk about this. I kind of like having conversation, and then when it feels it's organic to bring up, that we will. But now that it's been on the forefront of my brain, I think we will do a podcast dedicated to that, because many of you have just found us now, and you didn't really know what happened in 14, 15, and 16. But those were terrible. Our 2014, 15, and 16 were three terrible years that could have broke us. And that's why we kind of have this different perspective of the world, just because we got beat down.
It's what made us who we are today, though. There's so many lessons that we learned, and you know, we wrote a book. What year was that?
2018. Yeah, if you want to hear the audiobook, it's here on YouTube. It's called The Pivot Principle.
Yeah.
And I think we talk about all this in the first 4 to 5 chapters, but it's essentially just what we went through in detail, and it's read in our voices.
Yes.
So it's right here on YouTube for free. Just look at our page to go to the Pivot Principle playlist, and you can listen, and you'll hear all the details about it. And it'd be kind of cool if you actually wanted to do that, because then you can maybe ask us questions so that when we do talk about it on the podcast, we can elaborate, or maybe there's things we didn't touch on in the book.
Definitely.
And then Robert asked me too, we actually don't have our soft cover for sale anymore. We did a run of it back when we sold them, and then we just went online. So
we're thinking we might be able to make it available again soon on Amazon, but we're looking into all of that.
It's kind of like 9th on the list right now, just because we have the audio and it's free.
Yeah.
I love promoting a book at the moment. I mean, I definitely would love to have a soft cover. I know people like it, and it'd be fun to sell it again. But I love that right now it's free, and it's in our voice. And if you like listening to us, I mean, the whole book has a bonus podcast at the end, and I think the whole thing's about 4 hours. So if you break it into an hour each day, you can listen to the whole book, and we just go through just everything that we learned and how we became who we are today through that tragedy. Because when you hit rock bottom, you either quit or you double down and become strong.
Baby.
Yeah. So those are some things. And then let's before this gets a little too long today. Yeah, I guess we can end it on this. We don't really have much info on this, but that is, it kind of ties into everything we were talking about today. Someone said, "Are you still moving to Florida?" Yes, we did move there for 6 months 5 years ago. And then we ended up coming back because it was when we found out money was stolen. So we had 2 places, and we were like, this is going to be great. And then we found out that we owed 3 years of taxes and all our money was stolen. So we had to get rid of our place in Florida and then move back here. But we've always wanted to be in Florida because that's where Alyssa grew up. She has so many friends and family there. Well, your family moved, but they're in New Jersey, but they want to move back. Yeah. My parents are on the East Coast, so everyone's there. It's warm all year round. There's no state tax. And there's no state tax,
ding,
and
ding, ding.
It's warm. But yeah, we want to be close to our family, especially as we're going to extend our family here in the next couple years. I think Alyssa and I will
expand it.
Yeah, so we definitely don't want to do that here just because all of our family's way too far.
Yeah.
So we want to do that in Florida. So that's always been the goal, and but we're just in the middle of this thing right now in the world that I don't mention for YouTube. Yeah, but yeah, so it's just hard because we have to go look for a place, but we don't want to fly, we don't want to drive, we don't want to, it's just too crazy right now, and so we're just waiting. But we want to buy a house. We're looking at Southwest. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, Southwest.
Like Sarasota area.
Yeah.
So that's where we want to kind of end up, and then just fly into LA for work or wherever else they're shooting these days. But a lot of the work that we're going to be doing is all from remote.
So might
and
as well
auditions are going to be remote now.
Yeah.
That's the other thing for AJ, if you happen to be watching this, who I did those questions for. I mean, really consider where you need to be, because if you can audition and live in a cheap place, like we have a friend in Ohio who lives in a 2-bedroom for $600. So
he has a roommate, so he pays $300.
Yeah, so if you can do it, because that's the thing that puts pressure on people. It's not that they lose the fun of acting or that it's hard. It's hard because you're alone in a city that is like no other place in the world, and you're trying to maneuver everything, and it's just expensive.
Yeah,
it's expensive. So if you can do it from Florida or Ohio or Arizona or Maine or New Jersey,
might as
it's
well.
cheaper.
And I'm telling you, with everything happening right now in the world, it's gonna be like remote for a
Don't move
long
out
time.
right now.
Yeah,
people are moving out of California. You're going to see a
Joe
huge
Rogan moving to Texas.
Texas, yeah.
Wow.
They're all because they're making, because that's the other thing. People are making so much money online now. Why would you live in a state that will charge you 13 additional %?
Yeah.
When you can live in Nevada, Texas, Florida.
Yeah.
So people are leaving for that reason. They're also leaving just, that's a whole other podcast in itself. But California, I mean, it needs help.
Yeah.
It's got a huge homeless problem.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I've been doing a lot of research on that because I never like to touch on things just as an opinion. So I've been learning a lot about that, but it's gotten ramped up for the past 5-6 years. And, you want to, there's like, I think 400,000 people who are homeless.
Wow. That's devastating.
I got to double check that. That might be too many, or maybe it is that many.
Could be.
But yeah, you want to be able to help people, but it's like you can't even walk on the bridges. You can't, like, even with our place now, we used to walk. It's like they're just lined up with tents, and then there's porta potties, which is nice. Whoever did that.
Yeah.
But it's expensive, and just now with the quarantine of people being able to live wherever they want, and that's just the tip of the iceberg there. So I think you're going to see a huge surge of people leaving California.
Yeah.
And going to Arizona, Vegas, Texas,
us included,
and Florida. I would have looked into Texas because I'm down for whatever.
Yeah.
The fact that you can, because we looked for a place to live. We worked with a real estate agent in 2018. And after we looked around, I go, I can't.
No.
It's $600,000 for a
fixer-upper. 1 bedroom. We were looking at a 1-bedroom
with loft. Well, that was like $550, but still.
Still, it's insanity.
Yeah.
For a 1-bedroom loft condo.
Like this, we're renting this condo, but if I had to guess, it's 1,300 square feet. The location, I bet you this is $625 if you were to want to buy it. And I'm not going to
be more if we were looking at a 1-bedroom loft. Same area. Well,
but my point,
I'll do a little research.
For $300,000 in Texas or in Florida, you can get a 3 to 4 bedroom house with a yard and a pool in a cul-de-sac.
For way less.
For $300,000.
Yeah.
Put down 5%, 10%, 20%, whatever it is. It's like, and then our bills are, we're paying $29.50 for rent here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you buy a $300,000 home with property tax, insurance, everything out the door, you're looking at $1,700 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saving $1,300 a month, and you're paying into a little bit of the principal. You got your own home that you can work on paying off.
Yeah, that you're paying to own.
Yeah. So there's just all of that. So
yeah, we move in whenever we can figure it out.
well, we probably would have already been gone.
I know.
Because we wanted to leave by September 1st, because then now we'll go month to month.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to pay that money, especially when I'm not working.
Yeah.
Why are we here?
There's just too much up in the air right now to make any move.
Well, I also want to see what the economy does, because there's all these talks about. I just feel like I don't want to go buy a house for $327, and then 6 months later it's $215. It's like we waited all this time to buy, and then
Fred's track record, you can't make any decisions.
I've made some bad business decisions. We've made some good ones. We've had about 3 or 4 wins, but we've had about 4 or 5 losses.
Hey, sometimes that's life.
So we're batting 500. That's not bad in business.
We're batting 500? What do you mean?
It's a baseball reference.
I assume.
Meaning,
but like,
if you go to
that?
the plate 10 times, that you're going to get on base or have a hit 5 out of 10 times. So you're batting 500, which is insanely amazing. Most MLB players are around probably like 275 they bat 200 to 350.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now we're batting 500.
Yeah. So that's a little bit,
I should start.
When I was growing up back in my glory days in high school,
Here we go.
I'm going to show off a little bit.
Show off.
I batted like 300.
Really?
That was all right. I was good at.
Weren't you a pitcher?
Yeah.
Ah.
My number one passion in life.
Pitching?
Yep. I still have not had something come that close to.
Why did you stop?
Because I just had to choose what I wanted to do. I just didn't know if I could make a living pitching. Like I wasn't gonna, because I could have maybe went to college, maybe got a free ride at some Division 3, 2, maybe 1. I don't know if I would have worked on it. But I was definitely good enough. It was amazing. It was fun. It was the best experience ever. But I didn't like batting. I didn't like fielding as much, even though I was good at that. But the pitching was the one thing I loved more than anything. But if I wasn't going to go to college for 4 years to play ball, but then not make money, so I said, well, I'm going to act instead. So I just gave it all up. And
well, I'm glad you did, because I met you.
I know, right? But I can. But this is becoming really close though, of being able to act and being able to entertain. Is amazing. And being able to produce our podcast, this is all I'm very passionate about. So much
fun. I mean, I feel like right now we have been busier than we ever have in a long time, which is so funny with the circumstance of everything. But we're doing stuff that we love, like genuinely. Like I was up until what?
1:30.
1:32, finishing up some work, and it was so fun because I was so into what we were doing, So I'm very grateful and thankful that we've found stuff that we enjoy.
Yeah. I just have to be able to have my hands on it. Like I love building something and being in control of it. Yeah. So that we can create our own destiny, because if you leave it into other people's hands, then you're relying on them. And and especially in the current state of the world, I've never felt more strongly. That's why I give actors that advice. Yeah. Don't give the power to these other people, because like a lot of them are great. Yeah. But you're one of their 30 clients. You're one of their whatever. So but our thing's about to be full, so we have to go.
Baby. We gotta go, guys.
But anyway, thank you so much for hanging out, everyone, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye.